For those of you that are listening online, my name is Susan Lund, and I'm the speaker chair for the Edina Moringside Rotary. And today, Tuesday, April 23rd, I am delighted to introduce to you Lisa Ovsak. Lisa is a vice president on the board of Breanna's Gift, and she's also the blessed mom of two children, Sydney and also Michael. And she is going to share with us her story and her experience at Breanna's Gift, along with the great work that they're doing in the community to help children with cancer and also serious illnesses. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you today Lisa Ovsak. Please join me in giving her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Susan. Good morning, everybody. I will say this spread of breakfast really beats my cup of coffee and hard-boiled egg at home. So thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I read all the books when I found out I was going to have a child, the What to Expect When You're Expecting and the nutrition books, and I was determined to be completely prepared for motherhood. And what I found out was that I was not at all prepared for the journey that I was going to be starting. Sydney was born in February of 1999. I don't have enough hands for everything. And she was absolutely perfect. See? And I was amazed by the milestones and the things that she was doing and the joy that she was bringing to my life every day. There was one day in particular when I was feeding her in her high chair, and there was fluorescent lighting in the dining room, and she turned her head to follow something, and I noticed what looked like a greenish yellow film covering her left eye. And I thought it was a little strange and kind of tucked it in the back of my head. And so this is 1999, and the next week I'm at Target picking up the 500 pictures that I took of her that previous week. And I'm seeing this white in her left eye in the pictures. And now I have a pit in my stomach, and I feel like something just is not quite right. So at her 9-month well check, I went in and I said, could you just take a look at her eye, because I feel like something's not quite right. And the pediatrician saw what I saw but wasn't really sure what was going on. And so he referred us to a retinal specialist. 3 days before Sydney's first Christmas, she was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, which is a rare eye cancer. But it's funny because rare doesn't mean a whole lot if it happens to you or your family. And I can still remember the tie that the doctor was wearing that day, and I remember the picture on the wall, and I just couldn't believe what he was saying to me. It was a blur the next few days. We were at the University of Minnesota, and we got the good news that it was just in one eye, that it hadn't spread to any other areas of her body. And we sat with a team of doctors, and they said, would you like to have Sydney's eye removed? Or would you like to try and start chemotherapy and cryotherapy? And I'll be honest, sometimes in moments like that, you think of things that just don't necessarily make a lot of sense. But I remember thinking, I thought the biggest choice I was going to have to make was, did I want white lights on the Christmas tree, or did I want multicolored lights on the tree? And now I'm sitting here with this group of doctors, and I'm supposed to make this decision. So I asked them, I said, if this was your daughter, what would you do? They believed that she had some vision, but at 10 months old, Sydney couldn't necessarily confirm that. And so they said we would try the chemotherapy and the cryotherapy. And I felt like I owed that to Sydney to give this a try. I didn't want her later in life asking me why. Why didn't you try, Mom? Why didn't you try and save my eye? So that's what I chose. And it was horrific. Sydney had 6 months of chemotherapy, blood infections, fevers, hospitalizations. And as a mom, you feel like your job is to protect your kids and to make things better. And it was counterintuitive for me to watch her suffer because of a choice that I had made for her. She had cryotherapy, which at the time was cutting edge, and it froze small parts of the tumor from the inside out. And I have an incredible faith and an incredible family, and that is absolutely the reason why we came out on the other side. In a time when Sydney's life was mainly about doctor visits, chemotherapy, blood infections, nausea, losing hair, I would have given anything for her to have more normalcy in her life, more opportunity to be a little girl. And then I came across Breanna's gift. And I love this organization because it brings quality of life to kids. It brings art and music and dance to kids with cancer and kids with chronic illness. And it lets them just be a kid again. And I would have given anything to have had that when Sydney was going through this. So the fact that it's here now makes me incredibly proud to be a part of this organization. Sydney is 20 years old now. She is finishing her second year at the University of Madison. She's a Badger. I know, I don't look like I'm old enough to have a 20-year-old. But she is healthy. She is happy. She has vision in her left eye. And I am incredibly proud of the woman she is becoming. So I come here to tell you about this because it's important to me, it's important to so many kids, to celebrate them as children and not just their diagnosis. So I'd like to share just a quick video to give me time to wipe my mascara about Breanna's gift.
In addition to dance classes, we teach music, origami, puppetry, watercolor, drawing, bookmaking, and the list goes on. In the summer of 2008, Breanna's Gift was established as a 501c3 nonprofit organization so that we could reach more children. And since that time, we have expanded to several local children's hospitals where our program is free to all participants and the facilities that we serve. We are continually growing, and to reach even more children, we have created Art Takeout, art classes in a box, to give to the kids who are too sick to come to class. And we also send Art Takeout to children's hospitals across the country. Children and young adults have supported our program by holding special and creative events and making donations of tutus and costumes that boys and girls receive during their classes. Hospital closed circuit TV programming allows us to bring guest performers and follow-along projects directly to the children in their hospital rooms. Through our special artist workshops, the children participate in drama camps, puppet shows, and creating amazing works of art, many of which are on permanent display. We are all about the power of the arts as a diversion, if you will. A few hours for children and family members to step away from the daily routine of a sick child. The concentration required to hold a piece of paper that becomes a bird. The interest in creating something from a pile of recyclable materials. The challenge of putting one foot in front of the other in time to a rhythmical beat, and the joy that comes across everyone's face when the music begins. It's really as simple as that. Breanna's oldest brother, Jalen, told me that someone said, if you look for the brightest star in the sky, you'll find your sister. And now with Jalen by her side, two stars brighter than ever shine on us. And from the many loves of one little girl comes Breanna's Gift, an opportunity to bring classes in art, dance, theater, and music from our neighborhood to the neighborhoods of sick children. Breanna's Gift is an opportunity for children undergoing treatment for serious illnesses to experience the joy that comes from the arts, to create, to be free, to soar, and to smile.
So I just wanted to close before any questions you may have with an announcement that we have one event every year, and it's Breanna's Star. And it's celebrating the kids, it's silent auction, it's a wine wall, it's a live auction, it's arts and crafts actually at the event. And it is such a fun celebration of what we try and do every year for Breanna's Gift. So that is May 11th, so it's the day before Mother's Day. And it's a great way to celebrate if you're a mom, if you have kids, if your kids are healthy. It's an incredible way to stay grateful. I know that I'm very grateful. And I left some of our quarterly newsletters on the back, as well as invitations to the event. If you find that you are interested in attending, we would love to have you. And I just want to say thank you for making me feel so welcome this morning, and thank you for valuing thank you for seeing the importance in what we're doing and in sharing stories. I really, really appreciate the chance to be here. Yeah. That's a great question. We had, initially there was a huge outpouring, and then two things happened. Some people started to avoid us because I think they were worried that they were going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and they didn't want to make us more sad. and I get that, but that definitely felt like some isolation when that happened. But the other half rallied and brought meals and brought things to just make life a little bit easier for us. So we would spend the day at the hospital having chemo. Because she was so little, she wore chemo on a backpack, and then that way she could still run around, because the day of chemo she didn't get sick. It wasn't that same day. So she'd get her backpack on and go about her day, but it was a long day at the hospital, and when people brought a meal and I didn't have to think about, what am I making for dinner? I'm just trying to get through the next 10 minutes. It was wonderful to have people bringing meals and doing the little things. So that sticks out most in my mind, and the prayers, being part of prayer chains and having prayer warriors saying, today we prayed for Sydney, and that was very powerful too. Yeah.
What's she majoring?
So she's environmental sciences, but this will be her second summer as an intern for cybersecurity. So she is going in a different direction, and I'm really excited for her because it's a booming field, and there aren't a lot of women in the field, and I love that she's kind of taken that on, and so yeah, she's changed to cyber. Yeah. So thank you so much.